Weege show. There is Ken Roczen leaving right there. Roczen, Rio, and Courtney, they are pumped. They have won. It is a big night for Honda because they've actually won both classes. I don't have my GoPro this weekend because I let the battery die. So it's not gonna look as good. We're doing it on my phone. But how about this? Honda is celebrating. I'm gonna show you right here. There's the big Honda celebration. They won both classes with Ken Roczen and Chase Sexton. And let me tell you something. I'm not right a lot, so when I am, I've got to crow about it. Last week I said that the Triple Crown in Dallas, to me, held the potential for one of the main title contenders to fall out of championship contention. That practically happened with Cooper Webb. He was able to rectify that and get back in the game. But I think I was right again. Our pre-show yesterday, I said it is time for someone to respond. They cannot let Eli Tomac have the momentum before we go to Daytona. And Ken Roczen knew it. He actually said it in the post-race press conference.
Well, yeah, that was the goal for me. I knew we had to do something because obviously him clicking off wins, I have to win. There's no way around it.
He knew that this would be a very, very big event for him. He had to start winning again, and it worked out brilliantly. Not only did he win, he did it in dominant fashion. He said it's probably the best he's felt all year. So that's big for Kenny, A. And then B, it looked like for a moment we were going to get the first chink in the armor for Tomac this year, the first bad Tomac race besides Anaheim 1. It's the opener. You can't read too much into it. But as far as Tomac, he was bad start, which we've seen happen before, and making some ill-advised passes. He smashed into Barsha. Barsha called it a stupid pass. And then he tried to go inside of Baggett, tried to make a pass that wasn't there, and ended up taking himself and Baggett down. And then later he stalled in the sand. We had Tomac at one point in 15th place. 15th place. So it looked like it was all going to work out, not only for Roczen, but somehow for Webb, who is not quite dead. He was circulating 8th, 9th, 10th. Somehow it looked like Webb was still going to actually make up points on Tomac as well. But man, you can tell that these guys know that it is an important time for this championship because all of a sudden, in the final laps, they really started digging deep. To give you an example, almost all the passes that Webb made were toward the end. It was a battle with, let's see, Wilson, Hill, Freezy, Barsha, and eventually they had to get to Martin Davalos, who was running the race of his life all alone in second most of the way. But you know how when the points are on the line and the riders know how important every position is for a championship, they just find that little extra hunger down the stretch. What looked like it was going to be an decent salvage night for Webb and a bad night altogether for Tomac, there they were bearing down on the podium on the final laps. And the final lap, literally, they were going after Davalos. Poor Marty, it looked like he was going to have the podium. Barsha got by him easy, but he was in third with the white flag out. And then, what are you going to do, man? Webb and Tomac are closers. Marty did everything right. Davalos covered all the insides, and yet still Webb was able to get by him in the last lap, and he held Davalos up enough for Tomac to get by as well. An incredible job for Tomac to dig deep. He got fourth. Fourth's not great, but again, he was in 15th, stalled in the sand at one point, and it looked like this was going to be the Eli's going to Eli, bad Eli night, and he somehow came up with fourth. His entire point lead is gone. He and Roczen are now tied. The 7-point gap is erased by Roczen, but Tomac lives on to fight another day. There's Cowie guys back there. They'll take that if that's going to be the worst, 15th to 4th. And as for Webb, he was hurting so much from the injuries, he didn't even go to the post-race press conference because he had to go to the doctor. I mean, this guy obviously was hurting. He didn't look great in practice. He looked okay considering the injuries, but not race-winning level. Heat race wasn't anything special, and the early laps in the main event weren't either. But then somehow, some way, the dude just got it done when he needed to get it done. Webb and Tomac dug so deep to minimize the damage because they have to. Everybody knows the situation halfway through the year. It's so critical to not let someone get on a roll. Roczen knew he had to respond. Tomac knew he couldn't have a bad night, and Webb knew he had to do everything he could to stay in it, and they all did that. And credit to Barsha as well. I think Barsha's in a weird situation. He's had bad starts pretty much all year, and normally that's a bad thing. But I think there's a small silver lining to the bad starts for Barsha. Tell me if this makes sense. He's ridden well, and I think he's been able to keep his confidence up because he's not getting a chance to battle with the guys in front. And I think he leaves most weekends saying to himself, I'm there. What's up, Shane Drew? I'm there, I can run with him if I can just get a start. So unlike most seasons where Barcia, when he starts hot, it tends to tail off, I think Barcia still believes he's the Anaheim 1 race winning level guy. He just hasn't had a chance to show it due to the starts. And it was solid tonight. He was second. He and Webb were essentially tied in points coming in. He did beat Webb and Tomac in the results, so don't count Barcia out as well. He believes he can do it. He believes he can win more races and get into this championship run, which is what he hasn't been able to do in previous years, maintain it. So don't count Barcia out as well. The 4 guys who are top 4 in points and know how critical these mid-season races are. What's up, Texas? The top 4 guys ended up, even on a rough night for some of them, the top 4 in the race because of that little extra motivator. But you really got to be proud. What's up, Trey Kennard? Trey's a very nice guy. Trey's a very nice guy. Hi.
What's up?
How good was the night for Honda? My gosh.
Ah, dude. Other than, I mean, JB kind of had a rough night.
Yeah, I'm upset.
Yeah.
He had a bad week last week because I was, our kids were racing.
Yeah.
So that was on me, which is cool.
Yeah, I would say this night is better though.
Okay, so now that we're friends again, it did help.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How much of the credit is yours? Like, what did you do?
For his bad night?
No, for Kenny winning. Yes, for his bad night.
Man, it's such a team effort. Like, I mean, it really is. It's
maybe 80% to you?
But probably 95%.
95% Trey Kennard. Okay.
I just don't want to take all the credit.
Okay, right. Even Sexton, you want to take a little of that?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
It's all trickled down.
Yes, exactly. Do what Trey says. All right, thanks. 95%. This is the Weege Show.
Yeah, I love the
Say
Weege
hi.
Show. Hello,
Say hi.
everybody.
Good. What were you doing tonight?
I was doing weird lights.
You were the lights.
Yeah.
Flagger?
43 years tonight.
All right, I want to hear this. So people are always like, dude, where do they get these flaggers from? Bro, let me guess. You're a motocross guy? You racing probably your whole life?
I used to race some, not much. I was a better rider than I was a racer.
Right, so you've ridden dirt bikes?
Oh, yeah.
Your whole life?
Not my whole, a good bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like some random dude. It's usually local guys in the moto scene.
I had my pro license for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you had a pro license.
Yeah,
so it's not always just randoms that don't know anything about racing, everybody. Yeah. All right, Weege Show.
All right,
Thanks.
Weege Show's
Thanks.
great.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, they know it. Flaggers. I was a flagger, man. I got to show those guys respect. Yeah, so Honda's celebrating back here. They know just how critical this is. Ken Roczen had to respond, and he did, and this series is that much more interesting because of it. Look, everyone loves Roczen. I know a few weeks ago I said you're starting to get entrenched with the Webb, Tomac, Roczen fans. I don't think there's many Roczen haters out there, though. So this was a popular one. Good to see Kenny get back in it. Definitely lifting his spirits. And now we go to the wild card. That is Daytona, without a clear championship favorite, which we thought might have been materializing. So it's just going to keep on getting better.